Hi there, it's Simone. Welcome to episode number 2 of the Making Diaries, Paper, Fiber, Food, where I tell you all about the things that I have been making in the past week. All the places you can find me will be linked in the description box below this video. I'm mostly active on Instagram and here on YouTube. I also have a home over on Ravelry where I just take stock of all the projects and keep track of all the projects that knitting projects that I'm working on currently. I'm so glad you are here and you found me. I'm still learning a lot when it comes to these face-to-face videos. I'm still trying to find the best place to film. Right now I'm sitting on the edge of my bed facing the window because I feel like the light is much better right here. This past week started completely different than I had imagined. I was informed that I was in close contact with someone who was tested positive for COVID, and so I had to self-quarantine and stay home from work this past week. And so I started by editing this podcast, and then I went ahead and planned So what did I plan? I did my weekly review as usual, and I'm just gonna grab my cousin, and I just put it right here underneath this. Did my weekly review, and then I had my list of the making diaries, what I wanted to talk to you about, and then the two things that I actually planned also was I made this fun tab in here. You can see it right here, sticking out right here. I just used some Post-it, and this is one of the sticky tabs, and then I just stuck a sticker from Grin & Bear It on the front and back, and this is where my landing page for my mailing list. So I really like how that turned out. And then I sat down and worked on my YouTube schedule. With this new series, I had to rethink what I actually wanted to film because I don't have all the time in the world. And so I want to make sure that I make videos that I want to make, and also that I make videos that you guys like. And so I came up with the list of videos that I would like to make monthly, weekly, and then I tried to put them onto this planner right here, this page. This is a printable from Plan to Create, and it is actually looks like this. Let me just take out the next month as well. So like this, so you have a list on the right side and the month on one page on the left, and on the right. This is left and this is right, and I really like that I can put down my ideas and how far along in the filming process I am. So yeah, that is what I did. I needed to figure out or just visualize how many videos I can actually make and which ones were the ones that I would want to make. So this one is one that I want to make, and I hope you like it, because then I get to make lots more. So then, while I was decluttering and working and sitting there, I had so much time this last week. So it's really interesting because when I'm at home and I don't have to go to work, sometimes I'm even less productive and less creative than when I am working. So I looked through my stash stuff. I filmed a video about Shop Your Stash, and then I found this. Wow, what a game changer for all the printable things that I have printed that I cannot use my Silhouette cutting machine for and sticker paper. I can use this teeny tiny Xyron sticker maker, and I did actually use it a lot last week. Coco Daisy's printable for January included these birds and also these daily circles. So I punched them out and ran them through this machine, and then I just added a sticker each day. This is, I usually, or sometimes, a lot of the times when I plan, this is what my pages look like. So that is a lot more colorful, but it's still working for me. So I'm glad I was able to do that. Let's move on to the planning, not the planning. Let's move on to the journaling. I didn't really journal a lot. I basically made 2 pages. This one, where I wrote all about the inauguration. I watched it I had time, so I watched it, and the thing that caught me most, or that moved me most, were, besides all the big things like Amanda Gorman with her poem, the Pledge of Allegiance was signed, and I really liked that. That just spoke to me in a way that other things didn't. I wrote down on here, I just wrote down all the firsts. So who sang the national anthem, that the Pledge of Allegiance was signed, that the person who actually spoke and signed the Pledge of Allegiance, I wrote down her name, and then when Kamala Harris was sworn in by Sonia Sotomayor, those were first women in so many instances, the first Asian American woman to become vice president, the first Hispanic and Latina member of the Supreme Court. So I just wanted to, there was lots of symbolism in this inauguration, and I just thought it was interesting to write it all down. And then in the bottom, I put an excerpt of the inaugural speech that spoke to me as well. Then I received an email from Fitbit where it told me that November 8th was my most active day, how many steps I took in total, and how many miles I walked. And then I found a photo of that day that was my most active one and printed it on my Canon selfie, which I struggled with that day. It wasn't the best. Then I received my very first Extravagant Hope post. Oh my gosh, this is just the perfect mail for me. What I really love about her, and I put an unboxing at the end of the video, so you don't have to watch it if you want to be surprised in the future, if you are subscribed or if you manage to grab one of her Extravagant Hope subscriptions. What I love about it is that it's not just something that you receive and then you say, oh, that's nice, and then you put it aside. It has so many piles around me, and I'm sitting here wrapped in a blanket because it's cold. I used my silhouette to cut these teeny tiny envelopes, and then I printed. This is a printable. I'm not sure. I think this actually came in her Pigeon Post newsletter, so you can subscribe to her newsletter, and she sends it maybe once or twice a month, and sometimes she includes free printables. So this one was one of those. I just cut a Project Life card in a small piece that would fit in here. Oops, and this one is actually too big. I just realized, wow, I have to cut off some of this to make it work. Doesn't matter, it's fine. I rounded the corners, and then I stuck down this, and then I added a sticker, and then I put them in here and seal them, and then I include them in Happy Mail to friends, which nobody has ever said anything about this. So I hope that when they receive it and they open it, they let me know that they loved it. And then I was bored, kind of. I started, I sorted my washi tapes by maker, by season, and then by color. So I took out all the ones that London Gifty ones, then I took out all the seasons of the ones that were left over and put them together. So like specifically Halloween, specifically Christmas and such, put together all of them. And then the last thing that I did was sort the rest by color. And then I started this. So this is a traveler's notebook that I made myself. I cut it out of a leather handbag that I purchased as a teenager. I never was able to give it the best use, but this is the best use for it right now. I love it. And however, I'm not using personal size anymore, so I'm glad I found a like category thing that I can keep in here. So this is my ink samples that I have tested and some of the inks that I own in the front. And then I found another personal size insert, and I'm going to add all the washi tapes that I have, and if I remember where I got them from, I will add that too. I haven't really come that far, but I really enjoy it, and I will definitely continue working on that. Alrighty, the other thing, I think I mentioned it before, is I started using this folder. It is from Muji. Unfortunately, Muji doesn't have any of their stores open here anymore. I wouldn't know where you would get this, but this is a folder that is supposed to be some kind of travel pouch. The last part here folds out, so you can put in like a map or a brochure, maybe a park map, for instance. And I decided to stitch it down so that I would get 3 more and cut them open. And what I keep in here is all the new things, all the items that I receive in Happy Mail that I want to use in my Hobonichi weeks, and it works really, really well. So I decided, instead of keeping my huge box of stuff that I want to use, I would make one for my planner. This one is from Happy Scrappy, a folder, and I just put all the kits and little things that I want to use in here. And when I take out 1 or 2 or 3 of those stickers, put them into my in here, and when I'm done, I'm just picking more. I know that I'm not using a lot of stickers in my planner right now, so that will definitely last longer than just for 1 month. And then I have the same thing for my cousin. And I'm not so sure if this is the right size or if this is how I'm going to keep on using it, because when I just created a spread earlier today, and that actually came from my stash box. So maybe what I need to do is put this with my stash more so that it's more accessible. I'm not sure. This is a constant learning process, so we will see how that will turn out. Let me talk about the fiber stuff, because I made face masks. And so there's one thing that I need to tell you. I have been sewing a lot. When I lived in Germany, I actually sold mostly children's clothing. I sewed most of the wardrobe for my kids. I sewed stuff for myself, but I kind of burnt out and I haven't really sewn in a long time. It always is kind of a big undertaking for me, and I always have this anxiety around it. And so it took a long time until I finally mustered up the courage to sit down and sew the face masks. And the one thing that I noticed was that it was actually a pleasurable experience. So maybe this is the start of me sewing more. Please, I do love what I make. But those face masks, I don't know. It wasn't satisfying in that sense, because this is my old face mask. It was super simple, just a square rectangle thing that I looped through this fabric from shirt fabric. And then I get so many bad tension headaches when I put them over my earlobes, like this. This is one that I made to try and see if this would work. Like this, my head starts hurting and I can't work for 6 hours with this on. So this is how I usually wear my face masks, like that. So yeah, this is what it looks like when I wear them, and the bands go around here. Since I don't have to look at myself, I really don't care what it looks like. But these new ones are much wider. Okay, let me just compare it here. These are much wider, and so when I put them on down here, it gapes. And I don't like it. So I added in a dart right here. And I'm just going to see how it works out. I made 2 that I can wear, and then I ordered one that is one of those that is almost as safe as a NP95. Is that what it's called? Probably. So I'm gonna try that one more time because I'm just not in love with those face masks. However, those were panels that I purchased at a fabric store that you could use to make face masks, and I really do love the designs. So we'll see how that is going to work out. So I definitely have some that I can use, and I just need to sew the dart at the bottom so that it's wearable. So I really liked this one. This is a sun, but let me show you what it looks like when I put it on. Not cool. I don't like it, so I'm gonna definitely wear it on the other side. It's super huge. I don't know what I did wrong this time. I don't know. So yeah, this is how I'm going to use it. And my kids are playing downstairs. I told them that I was going to film, but they probably already forgot because I have been talking for 18 minutes. Another fail in the fiber section. I'm going to insert a photo or a video clip of where I was before I frogged. I had finished this last color, and then I had already made the heel flap and I turned the heel. But then I realized in the instructions that I'm following, and I'll link my Ravelry project down below and you can follow to the instructions. It's from Susan B. Anderson. It's just a plain vanilla sock. And at the end of the whole thing, before you start turning, when you're done turning the heel, I don't know, she has 18 stitches left. I only had 6. So I clearly had done something wrong. And even though I am quite familiar and I know how to knit, I am not as experienced knitter to be able to just frog to a specific part, especially when you have slip stitches and all that. So I had to frog all the way down because I wasn't able to pick up the stitches in between. And when I'm up there and my heel flap is finished, I will definitely insert a lifeline. A lifeline is when you just use a different yarn and you put that yarn into all of the stitches, so that when you do something wrong, you can frog your knitting thing to that thing, and the other yarn will keep them from falling down further, if that makes any sense to you, if you're familiar with knitting. So I hopefully will make some progress on that today, because it actually, the last time I made the socks and knit the heel, I had really struggled, and I was like, maybe I don't want to knit more socks because this is just so tedious. But this time when I worked on it, it was a pleasurable experience, and I was like, maybe I will be able to know this without following instructions and reading them all the time while I'm working on this. So maybe it is going to be stuck in my head and I can do this without too much brain power up here. So we'll see how that turns out. let's move on to cooking and making. I didn't film along a lot on all the things that I worked or made this past week. I really, even though I sat in the living room or dining room table and journaled and all that stuff, I tried to contaminate as little as possible. So I didn't bake or anything. My son, however, he is all into the thing. He made brownies. He made me print a monthly overview so he could plan his baking in the future. So there will be more videos, because even though he is very, very independent, he still needs a little bit of support. So I made another Hefezopf. This is something that I want to do every Friday. And if you are interested, I thought about maybe translating the recipe so that you can try it too if you're interested. It is from it makes this huge loaf, as you can see in the video, and I actually almost burnt it. Yeah, it was really dark on top, so I need to move it one slot down in the oven next time. But we ate a Greek chicken salad, another recipe from Half-Baked Harvest, which I really recommend. I will put the link to that in the description box below. So I think that is everything that I can tell you right now. This is all the things that I worked on and created this past week. I will have the unboxing and a tiny voiceover at the end, and then some funny clips that I collected throughout the week. Also, I found a broccoli in my yard, in my backyard garden, no, front yard garden. I'll include a picture because I'm so proud. Thank you so much for watching. It was such a fun experience again. I hope to see you soon. Have a great week. I completely forgot to talk about Happy Mail, and I do want to make that a regular thing. I received another letter from Amy, which I was so surprised but super excited, because this is a springtime sticker sheet from Audrey Okaya, and I don't really have that much spring stuff, so I can't wait to use this in my Hobonichi weeks. Thank you so much, Amy. I received a huge ass letter from Susan with lots of goodies included. Right here, so that is going to be a cute spread as well. And then I also received my Patreon Happy Mail from Cissy Art Café, and that is what was included in this month's shipment: a postcard, this fun membership card where you also get a sticker that you can put on each month you're a Patreon. And if you're not getting consecutive shipments, that totally doesn't matter. You just stick down the stickers that you receive. This is the sticker sheet that was included. And then this is the other one. So she gives you one for yourself and then one for the membership card. And then these are all the individual stickers. Let me check which upside down. Okay, so this one, this one, this one, and then lastly, this one. And if I have to choose, this one is definitely my favorite one. Okay, that's it. No, I also sent out 4 letters and 1 postcard, and I have to tell you that it does bring me joy. The act of making something and then sending it out instead of keeping it and not really sometimes knowing what to do with it brings me so much joy. It actually gives you hope. There's so many little teeny tiny things to find, to come back to read through again, to use again, to give to other people. So that just worked for me this month, and I hope it will in the future months, when I can give part of that to somebody else and give someone else hope as well.
We love ass holy. My ass is holy, guys. My ass is holy.